Event store is going away here in just a few minutes. The exocomps are already gone. I'm debating on just getting Locutus now, and then maybe I would use my Borg credits for Borg officers, because I'm trying to think, like, I already have Kirk, I already have Spock, I already have these ships, and everybody else here, most of these officers like Cisco I already have up pretty high. Dax not concerned about, and then the strike team officers are now all available through the Section 31 store, so obviously I can pick and choose how I'd want to upgrade those. I mean, Odo would be a nice thing to upgrade out of here, but I'll have time to do that. And the subspace relay building really pays out pretty poor, and then I don't really need any of this other stuff here. So it's like, do I just take Locutus now and then work on Borg officers? And I think that's the answer. I think I just want Locutus now. I chipped away at him pretty nicely from the last Borg event. That's the other thing too, is that the Borg events, while they've been running more consistently, aren't like a guaranteed thing. And with my luck, I'll be sitting here on Locutus at, like, I only need 10 shards. I'll just get them out of the next Borg event, and then they won't run a Borg event for like 3 or 4 months. Lloydson says save them. They'll update this soon. You think? You think they're going to make updates to the Incursion store? I think we would probably be waiting for quite some time. This is kind of feels like it's kind of a low-hanging fruit there. All right, so we got Locutus unlocked. What does he do? Well, first things first, we got to promote him. We got to promote him. We got to level him up. Now, he should at least be easier to get some skill points on, because I should have some skill points for when he was officially launched, right? There were events back when he was launched that gave you Locutus skill points, and back then you were just like, well, these don't help at all because you had to pay to unlock Locutus. So you were doing the events, getting the skill points going maybe someday. Well, someday happens to be today, so let's see what we can do. Ascaron, he's on duty most of the time for you? Well, that's encouraging. And I did do a couple of milestones of that favor that lowers the cost of skill points to upgrades. But I do need a lot of this stuff. Some of the stuff does require a certain fleet commander level. So we'll get him up to like level. I wish I could do this faster. I wish this had a slider. And then we'll go through his skills real fast and see exactly what where we want to invest in Senor Locutus. It's also kind of ironic timing, given that Beck and Shauna and Julie Benson were doing that interview, talking a lot about First Contact and the Borg and the history of the Borg and Starfleet and the Federation, and how they kind of became the big bad of TNG, which then carried over a little bit into, we didn't really see them in Deep Space Nine, but Voyager definitely had some interactions with them. But I can't remember really seeing any type of Borg activity in Deep Space Nine. It's like they had the Dominion and the Jem'Hadar, and they had enough of their own stuff going on. And then it felt like they kind of brought them back. They even brought them into Enterprise for an episode or two. Following after First Contact, well, there were a couple of Borg corpses found on the planet after they destroyed the hive and everything. I remember there was an episode where they somehow got reanimated, and they like stole a shuttle, and they were like on their way to basically go alert the Borg collective in that time period, like, hey, come to Earth, right? And I remember Archer trying to chase him down and kill him, but and they made reference to First Contact and Zephram Cochrane and his drunk ramblings about cybernetic aliens from the future. Borg would have been a perfect enemy to interrupt the Dominion War. You would have thought that would have been a perfect opportunity, right? They see everybody fighting against each other, and all of a sudden, just like a Borg cube just comes strolling right through. And I kind of missed that whole thing, right? Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity for the Borg. All right. But yeah, so that obviously reminded us how big and scary the Borg were, and, how meager the Federation seemed compared to them. And I think that's going to lead us into this next month here. I don't know if you guys have been seeing any of the hints or spoilers from the other content creators, but obviously we got the trailer video showing Strange New World is coming back to Star Trek Fleet Command. And I think we're going to see the introduction of the big bad from that series making their appearance in the game over this next arc here. I think we're going to see the Gorn. Now, I don't know exactly how they're going to implement them, whether they're going to put them as, a faction group. Most likely not. I'm sure there'll be the hostiles that we'll have to go kill. Will they be a swarm type hostile where they're in specific systems and it's another loop and another thing going on? Certainly possible. Do we want another loop for the 4th month in a row? Definitely not. Maybe it'll just be a new set of dailies, or maybe the existing Swarm dailies will get an upgrade, and it'll be Swarm or Gorn. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to work it into the game, but I can tell you that I think they're coming. I think it could be interesting how they do it, but if it's another loop, dear God, 4 months, maybe even further than that if you go back to even last year and everything we had going on. That would be a step in the wrong direction. So, but let's talk about Locutus. So let's see what his different abilities are. So what do we got here? Piercing against players. So this is combat, and this is a lot of PvP stuff, right? Damage while cloaked. Mitigation against players. Mitigation while cloaked. Crit damage against players. Crit damage while cloaked. Base damage against players. Number of shots against players. Whoa. Okay. So if you're on an interceptor, you have a chance of getting extra shots. Interesting. I'm guessing it's the same thing here. Oh, increasing critical damage for interceptors. And then this is just a straight kinetic boost. Okay. Admiral, we've got boosting damage against armadas. Damage against solo and group armadas. That's always on. Awesome. Critical damage against Borg solos. Critical, this is piercing against Dominion solos. So some solo armada boosts. Nice. Crit damage against solos. And then down here you've got more mitigation against armadas. And crit chance against armadas. Okay. What do we got in mechanic? Ship repair speed. And this is going to be armor, dodge, and shield deflection. Okay. Max cargo on the Vidar. Well, don't really care so much about that. More nanoprobes from Borg hostiles. Okay. More protected cargo. More shield health. And then we've got more repair and max hull health. Okay. Yeah, Admiral Tree here's got some decent boosts for armadas. Mechanic here, ship repair speed. That's always a good one, right? So let's get that up a few levels. Get a nice repair speed boost. This is also one that's always active. I've got plenty of currency here, so we can take that up a bit. Unlock that. These are only when he's on duty. So we'll at least put a couple points into those. We're not going to go too crazy here because we'll unlock this one. Get some more nano probes if he's on duty. That one's really not worth having. I'm sure it's going to force me to do some upgrades at some point in time. Let's boost some protected cargo. That's always fun. Max shield health. This is just always active. Okay. Now again, diminishing returns here. We've got a lot of other things already adding to max shield health. So a 50% bonus there. Not a whole lot, but every little bit helps. And let's go back and do our other ones that are always active, at least. Boost some damage against armadas. That's always fun. It's nice to see we'll have an update commander event next week. Maybe. Maybe we'll get a new fleet commander, right? Maybe we'll get a new fleet commander who does something against the Gorn. We'll be like, ah, man. But that's okay. We got a few things unlocked here. We'll just take the base levels here, get some stuff unlocked and opened up. And that's it for my always active stats. Hercules, you're in the pub now. You can't hear half of it. Okay, well, cheers. Have a good afternoon. I'm assuming you're probably watching some type of football match in the pub. But that's just me stereotyping. Okay, so we got Locutus up a little bit. Obviously, we can continue leveling up and promoting him more if we need to get more skills. But he's a decent fleet commander, and anytime you can put points into things that are always active, there's always a benefit to doing that. These are all pretty updated already there. And Sloan, I've been kind of ignoring a little bit, or neglecting a little bit. What are your always active? Max cargo. So here's more shield hit points. Faction rep. Base weapon damage for ships, huh? I guess we'll take that. That seems like a good one to get while I'm right here and I'm doing this. I might as well unlock another ability or two. There we go. There's an extra 90% weapon damage. Again, not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but we'll take it. And obviously, if you're doing any forbidden tech upgrades, make sure you've got him active in this side of the tree unlocked. We'll do a cargo boost. Everybody can have a couple more percent of cargo too. It is on Man U versus Liverpool. Gotcha. You're just not really caring about it. Okay. What do we got here? What's this? Oh, this is hull health, huh? Oh, that's always active, but that requires the rare ones. That's why I didn't level that up. Because we're saving those for a next event. Okay. Well, that was a nice little upgrading, and we kind of took a little bit of a dive into what Locutus can do. Looks like he has some interesting abilities. Most of them are Armada related. So if you are going to be running a bunch of Armadas, it seems worthwhile to make sure he's in an active slot. And I'm not mad about getting him unlocked. You know, using a combination of points from here and the Borg event store as well. And then now it's just, well, what do I want to spend the rest of my coins on? Do I want to try and like tier up someone maybe like Wayun? That could make sense. I hear he's good. I hear Explorer PvP is really good right now. Oh, I need to do waves too. And obviously at some point I'll get the rest of this done and then I'll have more opportunities here if I want to keep running waves to start sourcing some of these officers as well.